the idea of tshuva is the hagdama, and the four levels that there is in tshuva. There's sur merah, asay toiv, bakisholim, and in that itself, there's two levels of tshuva and bal tshuva. So there's these different four levels that causes the tshuva, which is similar to the idea of geula. This causes that there's amshach of Torah mitzvahs, and tshuva is also like the idea of davening, because the neshama is returning, because the true idea of tshuva is varuach, the true idea of davening is varuach toshav al lekim. So therefore, this is the same type of process like the level of geula, as we will explain how that fits in with the idea of Torah mitzvahs as well. So let's look in again, page 5, test in the print in the Hebrew 6, line 6. According to what we explained previously in Eis Dalet. The idea of tshuva is an introduction, a preparation for the general idea of Torah mitzvahs. As we said, the tshuva is like the davening in the morning, and then afterwards we follow it with learning Torah, in the base knesses, the base medrash, and then it's done mitzvahs, what we're doing in the world. How do you move it? It's understood. After these four levels of tshuva, the Torah mitzvahs gamkin ba'arba bechinas. Since the tshuva involves four levels, sur mera, seitoiv, baki shalom, two levels in baki shalom, so the hamshacha that comes via that must also reflect these four levels as well, and therefore it also has four levels in Torah mitzvahs. Shehu inyan avoidam the sur merava avoida say toiv avoida the baki shalom shehu inyan Torah. And then there's the avoid of turning away from bad. That's obviously not doing what we're not supposed to do. And then there's the avoid of doing what we're supposed to do. And then there is baki shalom. Shalom is the idea of Torah. Why is shalom the idea of Torah? He says, before the Rambam, like to explain the Rambam, shekol ha-Torah nitna las shalom ba'olam. The entire idea of Torah was meant and was its purpose was to bring peace into the world. In this itself, in the Torah, in the Baki Shalom of Torah, there's also two levels. The two levels are similar, similar to what we mentioned, that there's two levels of tshuva. There's the tshuva, and then there's the master, the tshuva, the one who owns the tshuva, and then there is this, in a similar vein, there is what results from it is Torah ubal Torah. What's the difference between Torah and owning the Torah? So he says, the Hainu kifisha Adam loimina Torah. One level is just the level of Torah itself. The lower level is the way a person is studying Torah. And then there's a higher level of Torah study, kefish on the Torah nikras al shmoi, that the Torah is called by his name, like it says. The Chazal derive from the pasuk, b'Torahs Hashem cheftzoi. In the Torah of Hashem is the person's desire, u'b'soirasoi, and in his Torah yege yoimam v'loila, he will speak in and put in effort day and night. So who is the Torah? Who does it mean when it says his Torah? You could read it simply, it's referring to Hashem's Torah. But the way the Chazal learn out from this, Torah means the person's Torah. Because initially, when a person studies Torah, he is studying Hashem's Torah. Then when a person really involves himself in Torah, so then it's not Hashem's Torah, or in addition to being Hashem's Torah, now it's considered my Torah. It's the Torah of the person that is studying the Torah. So that's what's called Shah Torah Nikras al Shmoy. That's what it means Baal Torah. He now owns the Torah. It becomes part of him. Therefore, there are certain halachas how you need to give honor to and respect the person that possesses Torah. Someone that possesses Torah in his knowledge, in his mind, even when he's not studying Torah, a person needs to give him respect. It says when a person's performing a mitzvah, you need to respect the person because he's performing a mitzvah. But Torah study, even when a person is not studying Torah, if he is involved in Torah study in a full fashion, in a complete fashion, so that he becomes this level of Baal Torah where he possesses Torah, there's an obligation to give him honor because of the Torah that is within him. A person needs to give honor to that person because he possesses Torah. And now, when we have these levels, we have the Sur Merah, Say Toiv, the two levels in Torah. Through this is accomplished the general idea that the spirit will return to Hashem. What does it mean the spirit will return to Hashem? In other words, the ultimate level in tshuva. Not just tshuva in a simple sense that he makes sure to turn away from bad, he makes sure to do good, to learn Torah, but he actually has the ultimate concept of tshuva, literally returning to Hashem. It's the idea of the ascent of the neshama to its root and its source, which is what we say every morning, neshama shenasatabi, the neshama that you placed within me. So the one who we are referring to, that you are placing the neshama, Hashem himself, that is the ultimate highest level of the neshama. That is where we return through all these different types of avodah. It's higher even than what we say following the words in Alakai Neshama Shenasata B'Tahorihi. The neshama you placed in me is pure. We're not going back just to the level of the neshama the way it's in its pure state, but even to the level of you being the one that placed it in me. How much more so is the neshama returning to a place that's higher than you created her, you formed her, you blew her in. Shem arba dargis. These are 4 levels keneged arba l'shoyin shel geula that correspond to the 4 expressions of redemption. You have the nasata b'tahori, the yabrasi yitzarta nafachta. Now we're going to explain that actually there is 4, and then there's really a 5th level beyond all of that. So he says on the bottom of the page, line 24, but Protius Yosef, more specifically, more in detail, the idea, the idea that the tshuva returns in neshama to the level of you placed it in me, which is higher than Tahira, the pure level of the neshama, the level, the way you created her, the way you formed her, the way you blew her into me. Top of page Yud, he aliyah chamishis. It's a 5th ascent. What's the significance of this 5th ascent? Keneged haloshen hachamishi. It corresponds to the 5th expression. We said that in Geula, there's 4 expressions of I took you out, I saved you, I will soon say, I redeemed you, and I took you. All these expressions are very significant, and those are the connected the 4 cups that we drink by the Seder and so on. But ultimately, there is a higher level. I'm not sure if it wasn't. One second. This Maimer, I don't think we had about the 4 Lashonis. Sorry, it was something else in the Sikha that I was learning. But anyway, so he goes on, he says, there's the 4 expressions, and then there's a 5th pasuk, a 5th expression. And that 5th expression is Shekenegdi Ashkam Kois Chamishi, that corresponding to this 5th expression that it says, Ve'veisi Eschem al Oretz Gomer, I will bring you to the land, etc. That corresponding to this, there's also a 5th cup that's brought down. The Rebbe speaks about it and Sichas about it. What is this fifth cup? Is it the cup of Eliyahu Navi, or is it just a fifth cup that's not drunk? But whatever it is, there's beyond the four cups, which are corresponding to the four expressions of redemption, there's a fifth cup. So he says, though there's a fifth level, Hevesi, there is still in all, the common expression is there's four expressions of redemption. Why? Seemingly, if you add this expression of Hevesi, so then you have a fifth. So why don't you say there's fifth expressions of Geula? So you got to know that Geula is about leaving something. There needs to be the contrast, what you're going out from, to be considered an expression of Geula. So he says in line 5, Ki'inyan HaGeula, the idea of redemption, Hu Yitzia Mematzav Havchi, is leaving an opposite state of redemption to a state of redemption. This to be found in the expressions, I will take out, I will save, I will redeem, and I will take. All of these expressions means that there is sheyesh bem yitzia mematzav havki. There is something opposite, and that's what Vaitzeis, I'm taking out. So there's a place you're taking out from. I'm redeeming. That means there's a place where they were imprisoned. I'm saving. That means there was a problem that they had to be saved from. See, and the same thing, taking. I take them out of Mitzrayim. So the Rebbe is going to explain what's it mean, the taking over here. So he says in the brackets, line 8, Koil gam v'lakachti, including also the expression I will take. Sheyesh b'm yitzia v'matzav. I'm sorry. Koil gam v'lakachti she'af shenem v'lakachti eskam li la'am shekoyal mi'atan Torah. Though it says I will take you from me as a nation, which is referring to the giving of the Torah. Chamishim yom lachir yitzias Mitzrayim, 50 days after going out of Mitzrayim. So therefore, seemingly, it doesn't have to do with contrasting with a negative. And if you're telling me that it says four expressions of redemption, because there's the negative versus the positive, so if so, where does Lakachti fit into it? So he says, it's Harei Betir an Nisim D'Yitzias Mitzrayim Parshas V'Eschan, in describing the miracles of going out of Mitzrayim and Parshas V'Eschan, on Nemer, it says, Lakachas loy goy, Mekerev goy, the oisesim moifsim, to take for him a nation from within a nation with signs and wonders. From this expression used in Parshas V'Eschan, it's understood that the word V'lokachti began in going out of Mitzrayim, not just V'lokachas li la'am, 50 days later, Matan Torah. It's the idea of going out from an opposite. So therefore, only these four expressions can we use the term of Geula. That's why only by these four things do we say Arba Lashonis Shel Geula, four expressions of redemption. Masha Enke in line 14, as opposed to Hayir Devei Vesi, as opposed to the promise that I will bring. Goimer Shel Achri, that follows the four things of Vaitzeisi, etc. Vitzalti V'Galti V'Lokachti. It's not referring to going out of the opposite state, some opposite state of bringing. It's an ascent in a state of redemption itself. After the Yidden came out of Mitzrayim, the final step is, V'hei I will bring them to Eretz Yisrael. So that is not the true idea of Geula, because there's no contrasting opposite state that they're being taken out from. So that's why we use the expression four expressions of Geula. We don't say five. Now, going back to what we were talking about, yet still in all, it has the significance of being a fifth to them, and it's considered something higher, similar to even higher than Tahirihi by Neshama. The Inyan this idea of the fifth level, both the level of Nasatabi and the level of the vehevesi who connected kutze shel yud, it corresponds to the point on top of the letter yud, that is higher than the 4 letters of the name Yud Kei Vav Kei. Corresponding to the 4 letters of Yud Kei Vav Kei, we have the 4 expressions of Geula, as opposed to the point on top of the Yud, that's beyond the Yud Kei Vav Kei. Shu Inyan HaKeser, that's the level of Keser that's higher than Seder Ishtalshus. Shalamaylam B'chinas Chachma, that's beyond the level of Chachma. But yet, we're calling it a 5th level. Why? Because even though it's higher than Chachma and higher than Yud Kei Vav Kei, it's still attached. Mikol Makim Hari Mechuber Lois Yud, still in all, it is joined with the letter Yud. So, on the one hand, it's not part of the 4 expressions of Geula, but we're still calling it a 5th level. If it would be totally different, we wouldn't call it a 5th level. There's 4 and there's something else. You're calling it a 5th level because there is an association. And the same thing, the point on top of the Yud is connected to the Yud. And Keser has a connection with the Chachma. So how does that work? How do you have both of them together? So he's going to give an example from something else concerning Sfiras HaOmer and the 50th day. So he says in the brackets, line 21, we could say, this is similar to what it's explained concerning what it says in the Torah, you shall count 50 days. That seemingly the question is, we don't count 50 days. We only count 49 days. Yet still in all, it's called that you are counting 50 days. Why is it called that you are counting 50 days? After the avoid working on ourselves, which is the counting of the 49 days, that they correspond to the 49 gates of Bin, as we know. Then, on its own, like automatically comes on the 50th gate, and therefore it's attributed to us as well. And therefore we say, Tispuru Chamishim Yoim, you are, Tispuru is also from the word illuminating, shining, Evan Sapir, you are bringing down all the 50 gates, all the 50 Yoim revelation, where Yoim has to do with light and revelation. So it could be, so the 50 is higher than and above and beyond the 49 days, like Chassidus always brings down, and yet it's connected with and comes in the wake of the 49 days. So in a similar vein, like the relationship between the 50th gate and the 49 gates, the 50th day of when it's Matan Torah and the 49 days of preparation, in a similar vein is the relationship between the point of the Yud and that comes automatically after the avoida with the 4 letters that we attain, and it comes as perhaps automatically that point on top of the Yud. The Rebbe connects us back to the 4 cups, which have to do with the 4 expressions of Geula. This is also what the 5 ascents that we just now said, that the neshama, the spirit will return to the Hashem that gave it. So it goes not just to the level of Nefachta, not just Yitzarta, not just Barasa, not just Tahira, but all the way to the 5th level, to the level of Nasatabi, that you placed it within me, which is even higher than Tahiri. How does it have to do with the 4 cups? If the 4 cups are only 4, and here you're enumerating a 5th level, because this 5th level that the neshama returns to is the level of Keser that's on the point of the Yud, HaKosher Ma Yud. It's in the level that's connected with the Yud. So now he's going to point out there is really 2 levels in Keser. There's the Keser, the way it's connected, the way it's the point on top of the Yud, and then there's a deeper, higher level of Keser that's totally beyond it. The Loi, and when the 5th level that we're talking about over here, the Keser that's on the point of the Yud, is only that level of Keser, the way it's connected with the Yud. The Loi kefishu b'chinas HaKeser, iboifen lo yisram is b'ois v'koitz klal. and not the level of Keser, the way it says that it's not hinted at any letter or even point on letter, meaning Lamaila Gam Mekutzi Shel Yud, it's even higher than the point of the letter Yud. It doesn't even have to do with the point. Okay, top of the next page, Oizvav. Hine Kol Amar Le'il, everything that we said earlier, Shayach Loidak Begolos Mitzrayim, it's applicable not just in the Golos Mitzrayim, Elagam B'chol HaGolius, also in all the exiles. Ki Golos Mitzrayim Kelelos is Kol HaGolius Kanis Gilel Siv Gimel, because Golos Mitzrayim includes in it all the exiles, like we mentioned before in Oiz Gimel. Befrat Golos HaAchron, especially in the final Golos Shaboy Nes Vasharayim Shekol HaGolius. The final Golius is the place where all the leftovers, all the remnants of all the other Golios are gathered together, so we could finally elevate it. Like we see with our senses, this final exile is the most difficult of all the other exiles. This is what Chazal say, all the exiles, their end was revealed. Let's say Golos Mitzrayim, it said that your children would be in exile for 400 years. Golos Bavel, it says they will be in exile for 70 years. Aval Golos Edom loin is Gala Kitzoi, but a Golos Edom was not revealed its end, which shows on how difficult and how hard it is. It's brought down the Medrash concerning what Yaakov saw. There was a ladder. So there's all different types of meanings to this vision of the ladder. One of the meanings that the Medrash brings down, Hashem showed Yaakov Avinu that the ministering angel of Bavel was going up 70 steps, meaning 70 years of exile. And of Modai, which was after Bavel, there was 52 steps, which al Yavan, Me'er Shmoinim, and Greece's control of Eretz Yisrael was 180. But shall Edom, he saw that Edom's ministering angel was going up, and he didn't know how many steps he'd be going up. At that moment, Yaakov became fearful. Perhaps he's never coming down. He's just going up and up and up, meaning he is always going to rule over us. Hashem responded to him, you do not be fearful, my servant Yaakov. Even if he goes up so high that he sits right next to me, I will bring him down, lower him from there. This is what it says in the pasuk in Tagbia, if you will rise up like an eagle, even if you put your nests amongst the stars, from there I will bring you down. So says Hashem. Therefore, when Yaakov desired to reveal the end of times to his children, it was closed off from him. The liba lepuma legalia, that the heart could not reveal to the mouth what was going on inside. Meaning, the source of the redemption is to such a high place that even Yaakov could not have it become revealed to him, and that's why he didn't see the end of Edom's rising. But the revelation of the end comes to avoid in the time of Golus, especially through the matter of spreading. You have to spreading your well springs outward. It was revealed specifically in the time of exile. That we spread outward, not just the waters of the river, not even the waters of the wellspring. The actual wellspring itself is transmitted outward. This illuminates the darkness of the exiles, and will burn down the remnants of Golus, like the statement of the one whose yahrzeit is on Yud Shvat, the Frierdiker Rebbe. By days of Poilem as Arbel Shen Shal, through this we effect the four expressions of redemption. Until we effect also the fifth matter that I will bring them. That's beyond the four expressions of redemption, like we mentioned before in the fifth. This is also the idea of Mashiach. The fifth number, the level that's highest. Yaskil, that's one level. Yarum, successful. Yarum, raised up. Nisa, high. V'gava, above and higher. These are 4 expressions. And then Ma'id, the 5th level, the Bechinas Ma'id, Darga, Chamisha, Shalom, Ma'ila, Ma'arba, Dargas, the Yaskil, Yarum, Nisa, V'gava, the very much is the 5th level. It's beyond the 4 levels of you'll be successful, raised up, exalted, and higher. That's why the letters Ma'id is the same letters like the word Adam. I will say that the order of the letters is in another way, showing that it's beyond the level of Adam. Adam showing us Seder Ishtalshlus is beyond it. The fact that Adam and Ma'id is the same letters means it still has a connection with them. The 5th level has a connection with the 4 levels. Just like the point of the Yud is connected with the Yud, like we mentioned before, and I say, and corresponding to that is also the essence of the Neshamas Yisrael. Hashem did not stop from showing his love for the Yidden until he called Yidden my daughter. He did not stop showing his love till he called her my sister. He did not hold back from showing his love until he called her my mother, Klal Yisrael, who lost love to Salah. It says when Mashiach comes, the level of my daughter, which is usually the lowest level, from my daughter, you go to my sister, to my mother, that will actually rise up to be even higher than my mother. Concerning this, it says, Roni v'simchi b'asiyin. On the future, it says, rejoice and be happy, the daughter of Tzion, that we're called daughter, because it's going to be even higher than the 3 other levels. So altogether, it's 4 levels. After this will be more ascents. Like it says, they'll go from strength to strength. When Mashiach comes, itself will be ascent one higher than the other. Like we mentioned before in the second ice. Till they'll reach a level beyond the level of ascent. This is a day. The idea of the day that's entirely Shabbos and rest forever and ever, meaning that it won't be any aliyahs, it will be beyond the level of aliyahs and elevations.